September 30th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A whole lot to discuss with you as the potential continues to increase for flooding rains in many spots across the region late this week. Let me first of all give you today's fall photo of the day. That's from Kim Bentley up in Watauga County. That's near the Todd area. Really nice pumpkin field there. And we continue to want to see your fall photos. You can email them into us, ncweather at twcnews.com. Had a pretty warm day yesterday, at least warmer than where we have been, even up to the upper 80s in Fayetteville yesterday. Mainly upper 70s across the Triad area, although it did hit 81 in Burlington, 80 in Asheboro, Albemarle at 82, Charlotte at 80, Monroe at 80, 83 in Rockingham yesterday. Currently, 5 o'clock hour temperatures, 70s. It is a very warm and extremely humid final morning of September underway here across the region. In the northern part of the state, up into Stokes and Rockingham counties, well, actually, this time just got updated. Let me update that for you. The aerial flood warning remaining in effect for Stokes and Rockingham counties until 11:15, and then that dark green shading you see here, that is a flood warning for the Dan River until 9 o'clock this morning. A lot of rain over the past couple of days up that way. There's your radar perspective early this morning. Still some scattered showers out there. And as a cold front off to the west swings in, at any point in time today, we're fair game to pick up a scattering of showers or thunderstorms even across the region. So there's your cold front working on in. You don't see a whole lot there on the base modeling there, which is Futurecast, but let me show you the high resolution rapid refresh, and again, there's that opportunity there for some scattered showers or storms. Pretty warm day today. A lot of folks up into the 80s for highs this afternoon, but then big time changes tomorrow. Behind this front, we have a persistent northeasterly flow that'll set up again, much cooler. And notice the rain beginning to take shape there across the region. That is going to be a very consistent theme here as we move forward in time. Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. There's your highs tomorrow, significantly cooler. And then here we go Friday. This coastal low takes over. Now, there's still some details to iron out, but this coastal low takes over. There's Joaquin down just northeast of the Bahamas. And this is an incredibly favorable setup to get some big-time rains across the region. Friday looks very cool as well. Maybe in the 50s all day around the Triad, struggling to make the low 60s in some other spots across the region. Let me kind of give you the bullet points here. Potential is increasing for flooding late week rains across the region. You're dealing with a very complex interaction of an incoming storm system, an upper level low, and Joaquin. It is very complex, and still some changes as we're a couple of days out here, but confidence continues to slowly increase in this scenario. There's the European model. It has been pretty rock steady with this huge rain solution, and now the GFS has come on board too. This was the 0Z run, the overnight run of the GFS, and I want you to note, first of all, this is Joaquin, and it actually pivots Joaquin into the Virginia coast late in the weekend, all the while just cranking tremendous rains here across much of North Carolina. Now, the Canadian model also brings Joaquin into the coast, while the Europeans kept it offshore. Now, look at the European computer model rain totals. That is pretty amazing to see. The GFS on board with similar scenarios, and I'm telling you what, you look at some of the higher resolution outputs, and there are some huge numbers. At times, there's been some 20-inch rain totals, which is probably a bit absurd, but you get the idea of the modeling really sniffing out some big-time rains. So anybody in the region fair game to pick up flooding rains late this week. We will continue to hone in on the areas of greater risk over the next couple of days. All right, Joaquin, there's the 5 a.m. advisory, just shy of hurricane intensity, 70-mile-per-hour sustained winds. Joaquin should become a hurricane fairly soon. And in fact, the National Hurricane Center brings Joaquin to a hurricane intensity today. And then down the road, you see the track guidance from the Hurricane Center kind of bending back to the northwest. But again, you have that cone of uncertainty where you could see anything from here to an offshore track. But I think the consensus continues to grow for something maybe in here for an eventual landfall spot of Joaquin. There's the computer model guidance. You'll see some offshore tracks, but a lot of the consensus is in northeastern North Carolina or Virginia down the road as it kind of pivots around a big upper level low that'll be centered over the southeast. Here's the Futurecast modeling showing you Joaquin continuing to strengthen and then finally getting on the move to the north by Friday into Saturday. So, boy, just a lot to talk about You want to keep us tuned in here on Time Warner Cable News in coming days. And as always, we will keep you completely up to date. That is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a great day, and God bless.